Here's the pitch. The Outer Worlds 2 is the game where your build matters. Your mouth gets you into trouble on purpose, and the mid-game conversation hits harder than most boss fights. It's also the game where you'll be knee-deep in the same lizard gorilla's hours, later wondering if Arcadia's wildlife unionized around two creature types. If your time is finite and your backlog cruel, should you jump in now? Short answer: if you love planning a character and living with the consequences, yes. If you need endless enemy variety and blockbuster spectacle, calibrate expectations. Context first, so we're all synced. Developer, Obsidian Entertainment. Publisher, Xbox Game Studios. Platforms, PC, Xbox Series S, PS5. Launch, October 29, 2025. Price tag, $70. Steam Deck is listed as unsupported at review time. Structure-wise, it's the same sandwich you remember. 4 major destinations in a new system called Arcadia. A ship as your hub, companions with opinions, lots of side quests, and a central conflict that's about power more than prophecy. The headline upgrade is the character system. Attributes are out. You tag skills at the start, pick positives and negatives, and earn 2 points per level across 12 skills, up to a lean level 30 cap. That sting you feel? It's deliberate. You can't be good at everything, and you will slam into checks you simply can't pass. Obsidian doubles down with a bold no-respect rule. You pick a lane and live there, which sounds mean until you feel the upside. Builds with identity. A talky sneaker feels different from a lock-picking melee rat, and both feel different from a leadership rifle commander who buffs the squad and lets companions do the war crimes. Then the game puts a cherry on the Chaos Sundae, the revamped flaws system. It watches how you actually play and offers trade-offs that can transform the run. Spam skip in dialogue, enjoy foot in mouth, more XP time dialogue, pilfer every desk, kleptomania, better fencing for stolen loot, random whoops I stole moments with guards glaring at you. You can even opt into a meta flaw that hands you boons every few levels, but auto accepts every flaw thereafter like you signed the world's worst terms of service. It's funny, but also potent. These aren't cute debuffs, they redirect the campaign. I love that your unconscious habits become mechanics, not just flavor text. Combat has moved from fine to pretty fun. Guns snap better, mobility lets you slide, double jump, and reposition like a hyperactive space courier. The build system stitches into fighting in sly ways, perks that splash a chunk of sneak attack damage onto normal melee, science scaling oddities like a void scythe, and perks that tie damage to speech because smooth talkers deserve violence too. Still, it's not a pure FPS. Melee can feel floaty, and the reticle has that obsidian elasticity that won't impress shooter snobs. The difficulty curve is classic RPG goofiness. A rough first few hours, then a power trip, then a random late game planet introduces a beast that one-taps you to remind you hubris is a build stat. The story takes a beat to heat up. The first act chases a revenge thread that feels like the tutorial wearing a trench coat. The second half is where it becomes the game people wanted. Faction politicking that actually hurts. You're pulled between Auntie's choice, corporate freedom, that looks like wage slavery with a smile, and the Protectorate, a bureaucratic boot with homework. Even the nerd monastery doing math miracles can be monstrous in the name of what we've calculated. It's not subtle, but the local stories pop, companions clash, and you're constantly asked to pick a lesser evil instead of soaking in easy answers. Quick spoiler in 3, 2, 1. There's a mid-game pair of talk-first set pieces, where your prior choices, build checks, and even an offhand conversation from hours earlier can turn bloodbaths into everybody walks finales, or slam the door and force casualties. One run kept a companion loyal, another hardened them and locked an ending path. Spoilers over, that's the good stuff. Choice with teeth, not flavor text. Let's talk friction, because there's plenty. Enemy variety is the big miss. For long stretches, the bestiary is a rotating cast of familiar wildlife and gunmen, and the sequel repeats the finite spawn approach. Clear a zone, and it stays clear. That means large stretches can feel abandoned after you've done the dance, which makes fast travel your best friend but robs the world of random surprise. If your personal bar is Baldur's Gate 3's density or Cyberpunk's combat dynamism, this will feel comfy rather than cutting edge. There's also jank, the acceptable but annoying kind. Companions occasionally get spiritually lost in a floor. Stealth aggro can be moody. Some rooms light up like you kicked a hornet's nest for reasons known only to the hornets. Performance is pretty good for UE5 rather than lean and mean. None of it shattered a save, but you'll have at least one reload and wiggle it moment. Companions are a legit glow up. They're not just banter machines, they stand in for factions with real friction. The armored true believer cop, the entrepreneurial field medic, a blunt instrument wrapped in robes, bring different pairs and the vibe shifts. Some early companions are thinner and take time to warm up, which doesn't help the slow first act, but as the politics sharpen, so do they. Crucially, you can lose them. Say the wrong thing enough times and people walk. That's rare courage in modern RPGs. Design-wise, Obsidian drops tentpole missions that feel authored in the best way. Multiple access paths, checks that matter, and tools for every archetype. The off-ramps exist even when you didn't invest in the skill. Find a key, take a vent, snowball a previous choice, but you feel the door you couldn't open. For some players, that fear of missing out is agony. For RPG sickos, that's the point. You're not optimizing a spreadsheet, you're living with a character. So here's the veteran game verdict, stitched from multiple deep dive reviews and a lot of footage analysis. The Outer Worlds 2 is a strong, confident sequel with the guts to make your sheet final and your playstyle visible. The writing levels up from snark to stakes in the back half, conversation boss fights, carry real branch weight, and the flaws system might be the smartest mainstream RPG idea this year. The knocks are real. Recycled enemies, a first act that moseys finite spawn emptiness, and a few bugs that will send a companion to the Shadow Realm until you reload. If you treat it like Mass Effect 2's cousin who did a semester abroad in New Vegas, you'll be happy. If you wanted BG 3 scale reactivity, dial it down one notch. Pricing reality check. At $70, I'd say full price is worth it if you're doing at least 2 playthroughs or you mainline RPG systems for breakfast. If you're one and done and allergic to jank, a discount season will taste sweeter. Platform note. PC and current gen consoles are the target. Steam Deck isn't supported as of the big reviews. Accessibility is decent, and there's a story difficulty if you just want the politics and the goofs. If this kind of no BS deep dive is your thing, hitch a ride with Veteran Game and hit subscribe. If you're nodding or fuming, toss a like so this take survives the algorithm. Final spark to light up the comments. In 2025, what matters more in a story-first shooter RPG, Ironclad? Consequence-heavy builds you can't respec, or a living world with endless enemy variety? Pick your poison, Space Cowboy.